Vodka sauce is one of those dishes that's a comfort food. If you go to a wedding, it's usually like a first plate sometimes. It's famous. We'll be spending more of our time here today on building the sauce than finishing the dish. But it ain't gonna take us a long time, so make sure you stick around to the end. I'll show you some other things that are gonna kick this dish up. So we're here at the stove and I have everything I need. Now, vodka is important, but I have some butter melting in a pan. I have it going over medium heat right now. I have my onion. You'll see I cut them into that kind of shape just because that's going to be similar to the pasta. You want the onions and the sauce to stick nicely to the pasta. And I have my tomato sauce. I'll link to it at the end of this video here and in the comments down below. You could use plain tomatoes in this dish, but my sauce is kind of basic enough that I could actually just use that directly into this dish. As our butter melts, we're going to add a little bit of onion. I would say about half an onion. I had a whole onion chopped up here and a pinch of salt. So now we want to saute this until the onion gets nice and soft. We're not looking for color here. We're just looking for the onion to soften up. If you were looking to make this the traditional way, you would add prosciutto at this point and brown up the prosciutto along with the onion, or bacon. Bacon works really beautifully in this dish. I have here 3 shots of vodka. 2 are in here, 1 is in here. Can you guess what this is for? Once your onion gets nice and soft, again, you don't want color. In fact, this is starting to color up. I'm actually gonna pull this off the heat. This you wanna do off the heat for sure. You wanna add your vodka at this stage. And give that a good mix. Bring it back here. You'll see it's letting the onions bring out a little bit of like creaminess. You wanna let that cook down. Not all the way, you want a little bit of vodka remaining at this stage. Once you see the bubbles get large like that, add your tomato sauce. Bring this up to a boil. Now you see what's happening here. We have our red tomato sauce cooking in with our onions. We have our pasta water boiling. I have there between 4 and 5 ounces of pasta. I'm making 2 portions here. Once this comes up to a boil, what we want to do is assess the thickness. And we're actually going to thin this out with a little bit of cream or half and half. I'm going to use half and half. We like to call it meds and meds. If you were using raw tomatoes at this point, you want to cook this maybe like 10 to 12 minutes until it goes from deep purple to orange. But we're already there because this is already cooked tomato sauce that I added to this. You want about a 1/4 cup of cream or half and half per portion. So that's perfect right there. You're going to assess it. Once you stir it in, you'll see the color. If it's the color you like vodka sauce, then that's perfect. If not, add more. Basically, this is to your taste. So mixing, mixing, mixing. And we're basically ready. I'm just gonna let that cook down for about maybe 3 minutes, just till it tightens up a little bit more. Time right now to check the seasoning. Seasoning's spot on. I'm not gonna do anything. If anything, I could use a little bit of salt, but we're gonna add some Parmesan at the end. We're gonna add Parmesan at the end. That'll help us adjust the salt level a little bit on this. Now, once this is at the consistency that you like, that's there for me. I'm actually gonna just kill the heat on that and just leave it on the warm burner while we wait for the pasta to cook. You purists out there are probably gonna give me a hard time already for not adding the meat to this, but also you notice I didn't add any garlic. The reason for that, again, I used a pre-made tomato sauce, already has garlic in it, so it's already in there. If you were to use garlic, saute it at the beginning with the onion. Our sauce is basically all set. This will wait for you to cook your pasta. You'll see the water is up to a boil. Now you throw your pasta in and cook it according to the directions, minus 1 minute. So my pasta said 6 to 8 minutes. I'm gonna do just 6 minutes on that. Cheers. Now is when you want to turn your sauce back on for about a couple of minutes ahead of when the pasta will be ready. Resist the urge of dumping this into a colander. Just go right from the boiling water into your sauce. Don't worry that you're bringing over a little bit of liquid. It'll help the pasta stick to the sauce stick to the pasta. Lose the mentality that you need a colander. That's good if you're making pasta salad, but we're making vodka sauce here. You notice this pasta does not look totally cooked. It's not. It needs another minute. But that's why we turn the sauce back on, because we're actually going to finish cooking it in the sauce. All right, that's enough of that. So now we just mix the sauce in. At this point, I would say if it looks a little too thin, leave the heat on. If it's thickened up, which it has, I'm going to turn the heat off. So you see that? See how it's sticking right to the pasta? That's exactly what you want. If I had 2 hands to work with, I'd be tossing this, but I do not. So I am not. Toss in just a little parsley at this point. It's going to help to brighten it up a little bit, as well as bring some color. It brings it from orange to a little bit of like a greenish hue. The way that we serve this up is in a bowl. If you have access to these little funny things, go ahead and use those, or just use the spoons you're already dirty. That's fine enough. This probably feeds 2 to 3. Notice the onions are nice and stuck within the pasta. Perfect. Perfect. This is the part that I like to call garnish, like Emerald used to say. A little bit of parsley, not a lot, just a little. Grated Parmesan, again, a little. Just like that. There you have it. Now we gotta taste it, guys. So look at that bite. Got some of the onion there, a lot of the sauce. Here goes nothing. What I like about vodka sauce as opposed to your regular tomato sauce is there's a lot of more creaminess to it. You start with butter, you have onions, which add another layer of creaminess, sweetness to it. The vodka to help kind of deglaze the pan. There's definitely like a little bit of kind of like a bite to it. You thin it out with the cream, totally takes it over the top as far as the sweetness. So amazing. I'll leave that tomato sauce recipe if you want to check that out. I'll leave that right here. And if you want to see all my recipe videos, I'm going to leave a link to the playlist right here. You can check those out.